try that Uranus on us. It's just a whoosh, stay back.
Yeah. I don't know. So many times we see teams like on Engage pull off Selenas, pull off like these cheese picks, and not have a way to counter it. But they were ready. They were ready for the Selena to be picked against them, and they were like, yeah, do it.
Props to Coach Wideoff for coming up with a genius way to kind of spin that around, man. Crazy stuff. Now, guys, keep in mind that this is building up to the Mobile Masters, so support your favorite teams by scanning that QR code and, you know, get some tickets. Come on over to Jakarta.
It's so disgusting to see a team like OniPH and how do they do that? Like strategize on the go. The patch was dropped 2 days ago, and it almost seems like the patch was dropped 4 months ago for this team.
Actually,
Onyx on the play.
On the red side, Onyx on the blue. The bans are already through. Suyo going to be first pick for Onyx PH. However, the follow-up coming in from Team Falcons is going to be important. We do notice that Aerith is banned.
Moskov and the Vexana for Team Falcons here. PH. Oh, Moskov Vexana are very early.
I get the Moskov. The Vexana is a little too early. It seems like what happened in the 9-minute game 1 shook Team Falcons and made him forget what's up and what's down. It's just...
But I do have to say, though, last time we saw an unorthodox pick like this, it was Onyx ID when they were up against Evo's Holy, dropping first game in very dominant fashion from to Evo's Holy, but then first picking Eve. So maybe this is the adjustment that they need, that they are very, very comfortable with.
Yeah, no, I was thinking the same, because a lot of teams, especially these BO3s, after getting like a crushing game number 1, really like to go back to comfort in game number 2. But PH really pushing the agenda here. Now, with the AOG ready to go in the Gatot, still flex, but also paired it up with the Farsa.
99% this is a rather a roam Gatot.
Whoa. Oh, what?
I don't expect it to. Wait up! Baksha got buffed, alright? Baksha got buffed. His second skill has a larger margin for error, so it allows for you to keep up the cooldown on those throws.
And also the the tank growth is there.
But where is this going?
That's the big question. Baksha jungle?
I
doubt it.
I don't know. I really don't know. It's in 3 different options that we know of, in the EXP, in the Roman, as well as the jungle. Most popularly in the jungle before. We thought this when we saw this in the patch. We were like, oh, this is for people.
These are for the rank gamers.
Yeah, this is for the rank gamers. Let's see how they're gonna implement it, because CC is gonna be a follow-up ban. Don't tell me they're gonna go to Uranus again, or unless this is confirmation that Boxia is going EXP.
Would it be weird to call it a roam?
Baksha roam.
Because you could live in King Kong's jungle,
well,
and then you make sure that you keep Brusco on his jumps.
Technically, if the Gatot goes into the roam position and you play Boxy in the roam position, then it'll make sense. Because
man-to-man.
Yeah, it's man-to-man, and you hard counter him.
Also, you have Dominance Ice from the start, technically, right? You have the anti-regen, and if you are the one to bring Revitalize, that means your Revitalize will be better than Gatot's.
It's a net +2, and then your opponents end at net -1.
It's a card game.
Yep. Not to mention that you can actually cancel out the Feathered Airstrike, right?
Yeah,
you know,
just
Shield
shield
Unity.
You jump on him.
Yeah, you just jump right on top of him as soon as he releases the first shot.
What up, Prince? And it looks like, based on the body language, Coach Treb and Team Falcons, they planned for this. This is not an out-of-pocket pick.
That's why. Once we saw the Vexana and Moskov, it looks weird, but it's the unorthodox way to set up for the Baksha, it seems, right? And again, for OniPH, they're probably still thinking, where is this going to go? We're still assuming maybe Rome. I don't think jungle, though, right?
No.
We can cross that out of the list, or is it still possible?
I think we hold it. I think we hold on to maybe the jungle. There's still, I mean, there's been a very large period Boxia was meta, and I think that those skills don't just leave you. But the fact that Team Falcons are getting rid of the carry on top of it all, it's a clear signal.
There's one more chunky boy.
Welcome to the new patch, folks. Oh, man. I think
there it is! The slab of meat! The slab of meat to protect the Vex and the Moskov.
Renmar played the Barats already, right? So now my question is this jungle? Is this the jungle?
Exactly. Another flex, because
man.
there is a universe where you can throw the Barats in Rome too. I don't know if the patch allowed for that. There were some adjustments on him too.
Yeah. Do you go for like a crit build? Do you build like a Trinity build?
Holy,
for
look
like
at this.
one of the marksmen coming in from OniPH? Which way do you go? Because the carry is out, so you don't have a direct way to deal with these thick boys.
That is not a direct way to deal with it, but it is a way. They go eat it. They just stack up on damage, right? They're thinking, all right, if they're gonna go full tanky,
we melt them.
My goodness gracious, folks! I just got spoiled myself. That's a Florid. For Falcons, they went for Barat's Baksha and Florin.
So it might go into the jungle.
Oh, it is a Barat's jungle. It is Florin Rome. Oh, man.
It's
Fast rotations on the XP.
wait.
Look at that.
It's not just fast rotations. It's a winning lane. Actually, Kirk can never really walk up. It's just
Correct.
an infinite losing trade against him.
You force the ult.
Yes.
You force Primal Wrath, and then Box just comes back.
Yeah, and he doesn't even care.
This Poissance is out of there.
This is quite the composition that we are seeing
Wow.
here from Team Falcons. We first saw the spin around coming in from OP, but now it's time for Team Falcons to show up and maybe equalize. Boys, take it away as we head on into the land of Dawn. I'll give it up for Leo as well as Mirko.
A cornered beast is something to be feared, and at the cusp of defeat, Falcons PH bring out not just one, not just two, but 3 brand new picks in the current metagame going into game number 2. Match point for Onyx Philippines. After coming off that 9-minute victory, is this the draft that Team Falcons need to take us to game 3?
Onyx Philippines clipped the Falcons' wings in game number 1. And a way to get back your wings is to heal it back the floor in here to try to equalize against the world champions. Let's see in the land of Dawn as we dive in mid-prio. Already questionable. Ogwen getting poked down by Super Prince.
I know that we're happy. I know that we're all smiles and woes given the new picks from Team Falcons, but everybody who knows that this Ogwen Florin is notorious. It's down to a 10th of its health.
Yeah, you've got to still be very, very careful. And clear speed isn't really the best for CalTZ either. So they might have just given away mid-prio once again, and you can see it already happening here. King Kong walking in, invading the jungle, actually stealing it away from CalTZ, I believe. Gets stunned by Ogwen. Curse Blast too, but there is no follow-up from Kyle. Yeah, no more resources.
And this will only really work once Ogwen hits his ult, and that's going to be a while. Unless CalTZ gets the perfect Detna's Welcome and isolates the right target, then we can start talking. Let's talk about this XP lane.
Oh.
It was a winning matchup, yes, but you got to have that Edith stay in. And if I'm not mistaken, that first skill on the Barat got buffed too, right?
Yeah. The first skill did get buffed. Yeah, the second part of it, I believe, like the explosive part,
Yeah.
do more damage, so technically it'll help you with clear speed. And the way that they're playing, this reminds me of Blacklist International, man. Team Falcons playing the Ube style.
It's a green Ube. Let's see if it works out though. So we see that the XP lane might be a 50-50, might be a stall.
Oi.
Turtle already started. Detna's Welcome.
Over King Kong, gonna be spat back up to the wall. The follow from Kyle TZ, or sorry, from Flap TZ with the shield unity, and it's a free turtle. Brusco will fall to the curse blast of you.
Dear God, won't even click the retry. Up top though, Marco getting blasted.
Uh-oh, he's gotta be careful. Kelra gets the kill. Not a solo, it was Prince to help him, but a win for Onyx PH up top, trading it for 3 big things for Falcons.
Grand Theft Orange. Kyle TZ walking away like a smooth criminal. Took away King Kong's buff. King Kong will take his purple, but just the same, it's too late. So this will give Team Falcons here about 200, 300 gold up as they rotate towards the orange. I don't think Onyx PH is going to take that lying down.
No, and you know what's funny? I have seen this Barats as well in one of my rankings. I just didn't think, it would show up in MPL, and it was very, very oppressive with a Florin. I didn't see the Baksha, but it was Florin plus the Barats. Level 1 to 3, you are very weak. I was able to invade, I was able to stop him from being a threat, but once he gets to level 4, like you said, Detna's Welcome, plus obviously Ogwen to get to level 4, he becomes unkillable. With those Detna's Welcome, he's the engager, and no one can really answer.
Yep, we just don't see that in the meta anymore. Kaja doesn't get picked, so these automatic -1s, if you do get it, again, it is a skill shot. You charge it up and you aim, you walk away with so much. I'm seeing something here in the items once it does come through. Folks, there's a Molten Essence on both Flap TZ and Kyle TZ. I'm smelling a double Cursed Helm. Folks, something that the patch did not mention is these passives stack. So the minus on the exposure, the minus armor, hybrid armor on these items stack. So if there's like 2 over you, you end up with like -18 max.
Wow.
Hybrid defense.
Okay, so that's where it actually comes into play, right? Because we were talking about it, if it's just a unique passive that doesn't stack, that means, what, you'll take tenacity away from your opponent. But now that you have, or you are building towards 2, it means that you're actually going to get through some of the base stats as well on top of tenacity. AOG Ogwen gonna be caught. Good AOG, good pick for Prince. So they're still on the board, and actually Onyx PH, despite losing the first turtle, they're ahead in gold.
That's right. No clapback from Team Falcons here. Onyx PH have equalized Purple buff here secured first by Kyle TZ as they go for the turtle dance. Ogwin just respawned, so they will have access to the heal.
Shield unity. Oh, good Eternal Guard too. King Kong still able to escape. FlapTZ with the Poisons now. The fear from View not connecting, but Kyle has gotten all the space to secure Turtle number 2. Feather Airstrike. View needs to cancel it quick. And it's Super Friends with a flicker out. Saw FlapTZ trying to cancel.
Ogwin does keep his mid laner alive, so that will mean free Turtle for Team Falcons. Nothing on the board for Onyx from this point on. If there's anything that Onyx Page can walk away with for free, or at least be happy with, is that gold lane. They make such good rotations against that Moskov, and these small camps, once they time out the big ticket ults from Team Falcons, that's where they can find refuge. But right now, wherever Kyle walks up to, seems to be a win. Like, they just can't stop this Barats.
They really can't. 500 gold lead still. Feather
Oh,
Airstrike
God.
will cancel. FlapTZ's recall gets him really low. Kirk has the flicker. Oh, shatter bonk on FlapTZ down below.
Free two-man take. FlapTZ had nothing to do there. Was caught out with, what, less than half health, and then they just finished the job. Onyx PH happy with that pickoff. Team Falcons, where do they find the clap back? I'm so impressed at how Super Friends is just able to hold his own here. Using Wings by Wings so efficiently. Is this another buff taken away? Can King Kong secure?
No, King Kong cannot. I guess this is the advantage of for Team Falcons, right? Despite the gold deficit, they can stick around and they can constantly contest for purples, oranges, and neutral objectives for free. There's not much you can do if you're Onyx PH around these neutral objectives, because the only way to beat them is if you try to like outpoke them. That's not going to work with a floor.
They'll jump you.
They're just going to jump you. They're also just going to heal back up, and you can't all in. You all in against this, you are dead. They have too many frontliners, too much sustain, and honestly, too much damage too. Cursed Helmet done for FlapTZ. That's one. We're waiting on Kyle TZ so it can stack up on that new unique passive to shred hybrid defense.
We're at the point where Team Falcons have hit a plateau. They've been winning so much, bullying Onyx PH into submission, into every major objective, but right now it seems to have slowed down. Will Onyx eventually break through Team Falcons' phalanx? We're about to find out. FlapTZ gets blasted early. Feather Airstrike.
Oh, wow! King Kong still just walks in and retrieves it, steals it away from Kyle TZ. Onyx PH on the run, good Earth Shatter, and onward to escape. Great slide tackle. And just like that, Onyx PH keep their gold lead.
They were a little too conservative. They did not hit the Detna's welcome. They did not stop King Kong. Now it's Primal Wrath coming in.
AOG Spirit of Misery come down, revitalized too. Kirk unable to survive the Detna's welcome under the turret. Now also the kills over to Team Falcons. That should level things on the board. But look at King Kong, always so active on the map, rotating and mirroring this Ube of Falcons.
Bulldozing that tier 2, popping that holy shield all the way up top. Team Falcons, how do they make up for this? I'd reckon still, you know, they get the kills on Kirk, they get the kills on Brusco, but at the end of the day, the math does not check out. They're still not in the black here. It's still very much in the red. They're down 2,000 gold. King Kong is getting free farm.
Deal.
I mean, talk about how you can bully the lane, but if
Yeah,
Onyx can just
deal,
deny
deal,
these
deal.
engagements, and now it's their turn to clap back, Team Falcons might be staring at a sweeping loss.
That would be crazy considering. Oh, or shatter from Kirk! Feathered Airstrike to get the job done. FlapTZ, Tortoise and Poissons, the Bloom, the AOG, Ogwin's low first to flicker back.
They weren't ready for it. As Team Falcons keep going, a defensive EG, in comes Marco.
All the way from up top, clears the wave and joins in, but gets shredded down to so low. And look at Onyx PH still holding the aggro of the turret to try to siege it down. Almost taking Ogwin down there. King Kong will try to give Kyle TZ a taste of his own medicine. Trying to steal it away, actually does not get it done. Kyle still had the retribution for the airstrike again, almost taking Marco down, and Mr. Super Friends just flies away.
FlapTZ looking to go hunting, does not find a friend. Swings by Wings, again used so efficiently
so
by Prince Ramirez. Now Lord has spawned upper quarter. Still the permanent damage dealt the Team Falcon side of the map left them reeling. Tier 2 is still standing barely in mid and bottom. All this while, Tier 1 for Onyx PH in the main artery just untouched. That allows for Onyx PH to dictate where the dance goes, how it goes. Primal Wrath here by Kirk. They're blitzing it.
Oh man, Kirk finds it. Melvin gun picked up already. Brusco is going to be sacrificed there. AOG still gets it down. SOD from Super Marco doesn't get the angle to attack Super Prince. Kelra gets the goal.
And that's a free kill for Onyx PH, and the fight continues. Team Falcons, they already spent their heal, and in comes the Super Fam.
Brusco very low, jumps back in, and Super Marco again. Kelra free hitting from the side now. Looking for a kill onto Ogre. Tets to the Swaka.
Into my belly you go. The gold standard bites it.
Curse blast on Kirk. Super Prince waiting in the bush, dodges away from the skill shot, now goes on the few. No feathered airstrike, Curse blast dodge. Super Prince few dodges too.
Like an anime fight out of Hogwarts, these mages are just on top of their game, and neither will fold, neither will take it. Just like that, Team Falcons, a valiant effort. They do win out on the trades, but they give up the Lord. Marching up top, it's Flapteasy has to deal with it. They finally break down at tier 1 in mid. What's going on? Team Falcons, they did equalize. They cut down that lead, broke it in half, and now they have what, 200, 300? It's negligible. But just the same, these fights, they can't continue this way, because I reckon Onyx PH, if they can find a way to give Kelra free hits again, it could be game.
Further airstrike, Halteasy with that's welcome. Now getting the stun on to 3 to terrify the pullback from Halteasy, Marco.
Little tight spaces like this, that's what Falcons want, and 2 free kills already. Down goes Marco. 2 for 1 the trade. Brusco still alive. Can Ogre finish the job? No roamers are falling in this engagement. Still, Super Marco unable to find Kelra.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a game of MLBB. 11 minutes in, 6-10. It looks very brawly, but it's been clinical from both teams, both really playing into their win conditions. And we get to check the item builds here at the 11-minute mark.
Halteasy not fully committing to the Cursed Helm just yet. Looking to stop both the damage on Kirk and Frinz first, and punish Kelra once he gets them balls going. So far, Super Marco, he is up by about 1,000 gold. So it's a matter of spacing. That's just the difference between the bulletproof and the gold standard. Kelra just knows how to come in and come out and make the most of this less than stellar item build. Super Marco, though, I'm not feeling it just yet. Mirko, is it just me, or is he not making the most of the cross-map plays?
It's been difficult,
He's been hugging these formations.
Yeah, I feel like it's because the team plays, it's 4-1, right? That's why they went for the Moskov. They know that Moskov can actually go to the side, but the risk of getting picked off is just too big. There's Brusco with an AOG, so if you blink or flicker out of a feather airstrike, you will still get caught. And as a Moskov, it's very, very tough to deal with a Gatot-Kacha anyways, right? So even if you'd go for the cross map 4-1, it'll be very, very tough, and it's risky. They can just play together, and it will be much safer, and it will still actually benefit their win con.
Marco constantly living in fear, respecting the output of Onyx PH, whether it be a pickoff, whether it be a sudden skirmish, or an all-in commit. Lord now down to 1/3 of its health, and they're playing with the range here. Flapteasy rolling out, looking for targets. That's a reset.
Good reset. Falcons still wanting control here. No info on the bottom wave. Don't know if it's actually slow pushing for Onyx PH or Team Falcons right now. It looks like it's just going to be an even lane for now.
Super Marco keeping himself scarce. Again, the hesitance to take that long lane for free is allowing for Super Prince and even Kelra to push out. I mean, it's not as long as a Moskov could, but it's Onyx PH winning this dance.
It's also the risk of missing your SOD, right? Because the thing is, for Team Falcons, if you don't have the Moskov in the team fight, you do not have damage. You have utility on the Vexana, a bit of burst there, but the main damage source is Super Marco. And I don't think at this point of the game they can risk not having their main damage dealer bottom lane all the way down, not being able to help them in the Lord fight.
It's a catch-22. The defending champions of SPS are finding, and Super Prince dodges the SOD.
Oh, man. And they don't commit onto the Lord. Now Flapteasy punish, revitalize, still surviving. View gets the Curse Blast. Brusco will pay for Super Prince's little mistake.
Free pickoff for Team Falcons. The man advantage going over to the M5 World Champions. As a Super Fam now consider, can we take this? It looks like they want to, because they're staying the course here. 3 members just holding the line. King Kong up front. Halteasy holding on. That is welcome.
So new Barrier, the new version of that Lord Dance. Kirk could be caught again. No, that's just welcome. Just Jenny goes in and then whips onto the back. Kaltizi caught in the bad spot. Still, though, they win the fight. King Kong tried to quell, but Kaltizi secures the Lord.
The controlled shuffle allowing Team Falcons to take him one at a time. Another SOD missing its mark, but Team Falcons happy with the outcome regardless. An enhanced Lord going over for the Falcons, marching through mid, and a purple buff stolen away from the Beast. Team Falcons, what a recovery!
Beautiful MLBB, absolutely beautiful MLBB from Team Falcons here. Bring in old mechanics, old macro ways to play the game, that Lord Dance with the new HP growth, with the new tanky growth, and obviously with the sustain of Ogwen. Actually, if you take a look at it, Kaltizi did not complete the Molten Essence to the Cursed Helmet, so he's actually not looking for the unique passive. He's just gotten the Molten Essence to help him clear in the jungle, and he's gone full tank. This is the old Barat's build.
Eventually, you can stack it if you choose to, but economy is scarce here. They've power farmed into Super Marco, and currently, it is paying off. The siege awaiting to be started by Falcons. The Lord jumps, breaking through that mid lane tier 3. And here we go. The slow roll by the bullies. Team Falcons coming through, taking 2 inhibitors.
Good dodge there. Would have been very, very different had Kaltizi gotten the chomp down on King Kong. Both teams hovering over Onyx PH on full defense mode. They do have great wave clear. Soul Sever, Feather Airstrike catching all of them actually. Few and Owen taken low. But still for Onyx PH, they've also taken quite a bit of damage. The Curse Blast is nothing to scoff at.
Big ticket ults on watch for Team Falcons, while Onyx PH for the first time in this 15-minute bout are trapped in their own base. So patience so far has paid off for Team Falcons. They did not force Marco to go to the long lane, did not put him in harm's way to be able to get into this position of power. Once more, the third airstrike pushing out Team Falcons. It looks like they'll play the map instead. A minute until the next turtle, rather the Lord spawns.
So let's try to dissect this chess game now, right? I think it's gone from a very, very entertaining early game, a lot of mirroring, a lot of trading, to now being a full-blown chess game as we get into the 16-minute mark. Lord will be advantageous for Falcons. Well, the Lord take, rather. They have the control on bot and mid. It's not the far lane control that they would want to have, but still, it is control over the waves, despite being able to send Marco into the far lane. Now that they have 2, is it safe enough for Marco to finally go and do that 4-1?
Nope. Reading their movements, reading their intent, it looks like they would rather still clump up. And they have the allowance, they have the leg room to do that. But what that means for Onyx PH is, if they're reading this right, they can say, it looks like they're clumping up. It looks like they're keeping Marco away from being alone. Why don't we get a jump? See, look, he's always has an escort.
Suara natin nung mana itu suara orang apa suara game?
Or even few. And now that the Lord is up, it looks like Onyx PH have read into this. We saw them up top. They're short.
Really, really good for Onyx PH right now. They actually go in all the way. That's just welcome. Gonna be caught onto Kirk. Hellra stun in the back line with the shield unity there. Still, King Kong with the retro battle. He does get punished. The AoE defense used
by Brusco. Feathered airstrike to deter the forward advance of Team Falcons. Brusco still alive. Missile expert coming in.
Masih bisa selamat.
Dodges away from the missiles. Just being calm, composed, decisive. Has stopped Falcons' complete setup. They had a slow push up top. They had all the waves, and Onyx PH took that as an opening to rush the Lord.
Onyx PH stealing away the Lord with impunity. Not a single punish. Did not even spend a majority of their battle spells, and Team Falcons left reeling. Highway robbery by the defending world champions, and they cut that lead in half too, down to just 2,000 gold. All this while, Mirko, could you believe it? King Kong did not have a winter crown.
Geus gede anjing maksimal sakieu deui. Tes.
In and out, retribution, and I'm done. AOG.
Try to go in, Detonus welcome, though Kaltizi isolated, that is not good. The main frontliner, no Detonus welcome. Eternal
Anjing, nice pisan.
It's a killing spree, but Kelra will shut Kaltizi
down.
Kita
si Kaltizi akhirnya.
To the HP bars of Onyx PH.
1-for-1, the current exchange. Eventually, Onyx PH will
Sakya ko masakya. Ayun na.
Of that enhanced, nay, evolved Lord in mid, piercing through Team Falcon's base. That is the mid lane inhibitor taken down. Fortunately for the Falcons, that is an easily defendable position. But just the same, permanent damage to their base. Already, their hesitation to use the
halo,
wall
halo.
for Marco might need
Tes,
some more
tes.
control. Like they
Gede
have to
tes
start
kayaknya.
playing the map. I think that's how Onyx BH positioned for that Lord Blitz. Is they feigned Team Falcon saying, you know, we're gonna take it slow. You go ahead, Marco, Ogwin, Few, go ahead, take it. Psych. To be fair, that wasn't as much of a steal as it was just a straight up Onyx PH Lord from underneath Team Falcon's nose.
Kelo anjing.
That's why
Gol
I think
jauh ke
Falcons
wani
have
kayaknya.
been sending Marco up top or, you know, on the opposite side, far lane. It's because once you do get spotted and if you don't get that SOD, Falcons, if you lose control over the neutral objective, Onyx can burst it down. They have enough damage.
Gede tes kayaknya.
And here's the thing.
Aman ya.
It's not like he even missed the SOD. It was just a matter of timing compromise. Now they're looking to punish Brusco. King Kong here forced to dash out.
Di dahar tuh. Edit.
AOG to cut them off as well. Halteezy caught in the bad spot.
Anjing, Brusco na ngejoning tilu.
Halteezy isolated and taken down by Kelra even though he's low. Brusco still tanking the damage. Curse Blast, Super Prince cutting their angle. SOD, Super Marco.
The base is in jeopardy. They have to send Marco to defend against Super Prince. They do clear the wave, but that flank and the damage
kulna falling.
now hit a fever pitch. Falcons lacking.
Prediksi
Both of the frontliners.
Onyx lah ini.
Falcons' win conditions alive are now down. Brusco has
Pik-pikan guys skandal lagi angker bisa nge-fight anjing cainge kan.
Flickers forward, but Kelra just
Kelo anjing Onyx.
and it ends up being a 2-0.
The Super Fam have come to play. Do not trifle with this squad. The new meta fails to trample through and take us to game 3. The series ends with a sweep.
Wow, what a game. These boys played their heart out here. We saw a lot of cruel new tech coming in from both of these teams. An epic victory here, and boy, has the meta changed? It's tough to say, but these professional teams with so many surprises here.
More things are possible, that's for sure. There's some new tech on display, but it's so hard to introduce that against a team that just knows how to play the game so well.
Comes down to raw execution at the end of it all there. An amazing draft from Team Falcons, a great utilization of all the buffed heroes.
Kelo nya Onyx aja bisa gitunya.
Onyx PH, they were just smarter, better. They played it so well. No neutral objectives given at the start of the game, but King Kong with the always capitalizing on the Ube, punishing that Ube, and at the end of the game, just being decisive. That was that lore take was phenomenal.
It bought them the exact amount of time they needed to really bounce back from that early.
Decisiveness is the opposite of hesitation, and there was a clear amount of hesitation despite Falcons' capability to bully in big team fights. So I think that's one thing, like it was too late for them to have adjusted to send Marco elsewhere. When they tried, Onyx had the answer.
All right, well, let's start to interview with Rose and as well as LaFell.
Here on stage, we have the one and only Monster Mage. Give it up for Super Prince.
Masih menjadi raja terakhir ya guys ya.
Okay, first of all, how are you feeling after that game just now?
Feeling good.
Feeling good. I love it. He said he feels good, Fel.
All right. Super Prince, I gotta ask for game number 2. On that Farsa, you were a monster. Without your Farsa, I don't think the team had enough damage to deal with everyone from Falcons because they take forever to die. Now I gotta ask, in that game, what was going through your head? How you position? Who do you want to target first in the team fight? Like, what was the thought process in your head every time there's a team fight?
My purpose in team fight is to poke the damage dealer from them.
So in this situation, which one was the real damage dealer in your eyes?
I think the Moscow and Vexana.
The Moscow and Vexana. So what do you think? Ano yung iniisip mo pag nagyayari yung team fight?
Iniisip ko lang yung paano pahirapan yung damage dealer.
So in his mind, his thought process is more like how does he give their damage dealer a harder time in order to execute their gameplay?
All right, now the second thing. We have not seen this meta for a very long time. The Florin, the Barats, the Boxia. Was it
Game
more
2.
difficult than you guys anticipated? Especially in game number 1, you guys finished so fast. I went to the toilet, I came back, and it's over.
I think we did not anticipate the Barats and Baksha pick.
But was it hard though?
Yeah, was it hard? Nahirapan kayo?
It's hard because our hero is not a poker, it's a burst.
Okay.
All right.
All right, now I have a question because you guys are making it to the semi-finals upper bracket. Later on in the evening, you guys will go up against TLID once again. And you know what? I gotta say, this two rivalry is now a norm ever since M6. But the last time you guys met, unfortunately for you, you guys dropped 0-2. Now later on in the upper bracket, it will be a best of 5. Friends, how do you think you guys will do this time around?
Babawi kami.
He said they're gonna get a revenge.
They're gonna get a revenge. And with that, thank you very much, Super Friends. Guys, give it up for Super Friends! Again, big congratulations for the win. But now, this is Rose, my name is Afel, and we're throwing it back to the panel.
Thanks, LaFell. Thanks, Rose. Boy, another sweeping victory for OP. Once again, the Super Fam rejoice. And man, beautiful game of Mobile Legends coming out from both sides. Really, really fun to watch. And more importantly, just the calculations, the precision coming in from both sides. Woo! Next level stuff.
The real adjustments came from Onyx PH. I think it was
Kala guys, kala dulu.
Falcons to try something
Yan
like that.
lah, yan
That's
na
one.
poho anjir.
And it took a level of execution to get to that
Yang
point wherein
deskripsi
the
orang
game
di
seemed like it was theirs. But at the end of the day, if you can't finish the job, it doesn't count. So Onyx PH made sure that Falcons paid the price when they hesitated to take advantage.
Okay, so walk me through this. 20 minutes, 35 seconds, total game. Kill score total of 29 kills, 9 coming in from OP, 13 coming in from Falcons. We were expecting certain things to happen. Even for me, I thought the EXP lane was pretty good for 5, but apparently not. I was wrong. The war cry, Edith just seemed to be better.
Yeah, I'm still left kind of speechless here, right? Because Onyx PH, they played man, I don't know. This reminds me of M3 Onyx PH as well. You know, the banana split. They were able. It was literally the way to beat the Ube too. That was, I think, tested. It was still the beta version of the banana split. Here we definitely see that it's the finished version, the finished product of whatever we saw in M3, and it's with different members, a different coaching staff, but still that identity has stuck through. Prince, I think LaFell said
Bang,
it best,
makan,
without
bang.
Prince on the
Dar,
first
dar,
side, it would have
dar,
been
dar.
very difficult, if not impossible, for Onyx PH to get the
Buat
win
mau, anjir.
against Falcons. It's a
Kelo.
constant threat to Ogwen, to Few, and to
Tuh
Super
dia
Marcos.
kuncinya non
He was
sabar
the
heula.
cannon, he was the mortar every time in these fights.
Even at the 15 or 16 minute mark, when Falcon had a sure grip on the game, Ogun was holding on to his ult. Even Few didn't need to use the EG until it really mattered. Even then, Super Princess Farsa was threatening the almost bulletproof formation of Falcons. But time came that everyone was ready. Kirk was finding these catches. King Kong, I don't know what this guy's made of. Like, what makes him think he can play this way and get away with it? That's the kind of confidence you need to break through a lead like that.
I don't know, maybe it's the immortal form. I think that gives it the extra bit of confidence with the extra damage reduction. But when we're looking at the golden EXP graph, it goes both ways, right? Initially leading by Team Falcons, then jumping back up for Onyx PH, and then suddenly, that's when we see Team Falcons with the Death Ball convoy roaming around the map. There was a very large period of time where Onyx PH just couldn't break through until they adjusted.
And now we have the bracket of rivals, man. We have the old gen rivals in Onyx ID versus Falcons, and then the new gen of TLID versus Onyx PH. Wow, it's so dramatic. And the story, it couldn't have been written better, man.
Only one of them can push forward.
It's so crazy.
Yep. I mean, the old guard out with the old, in with the new. These fresh
Feel
boys
powerful.
are
Anjing
making
geus juga Mas
waves in
Ade
Mobile
anjing.
Legends professional space here. And I mean, as you mentioned,
Orang teh
without
kan bisa
Super
teh dia
Prince
kudu
on this
500 subscriber heula, dia
he's
40
so
kilo
good
ribu
at the
jam
game. Like an
tayang.
unbelievable. And surprisingly
He needs to go
enough,
pro.
Nambah-nambahin produk teh.
Someone needs to scout him, man. He could become a world champion.
Yeah, one day, am I right? But he's played both both sides of the mage spectrum, right? He's played an enchanter-style mage in a Matilda, had that extra bit of utility,
hello.
and a hard-carrying, poking style in a Farsa. What can't this guy do?
This dude's game IQ is through the roof.
Absolutely. This guy's game IQ is like none we've seen before, man. It's so ridiculous. Again, in so many of these moments, you would think it's over, and then that 1v1, we have to just get that 1v1 anime battle
The
of
anime
you and
1v1,
Fritz. It
yeah.
was so beautiful.
You could call that the passing of the torch. Idle number kids in the monster mage. You know, call it like a silent handshake.
Berarti Onyx lawan Onyx atau?
Until he became a man, and it's like, sorry for you.
And now he's a monster.
I'm a monster now.
Onyx
He's a man
Falcon.
mage, now he's a
Falcon lawan
monster
Onyx.
mage.
So you guys know the legend, the Super
Onyx
Prince?
TH lawan TLID berarti.
I don't know
di
who,
Falcon
on
Prince.
what channel or what broadcast or a podcast it was, but it was one of his teammates talking about how much of a genius Super Prince is when they would scrim, right? He can tell what bush the opponents were in.
Yeah. Dude, I mean, speaking to the Onyx PH boys at M6 and speaking to, Head of Onyx, everyone, it was always, every time I asked them about the roster, how they built the roster, they would always just tell me, all these players wanted to play with Fritz.
That's right.
Every single one of them knows how brilliant this player is in scrims, and you definitely get to see it here with then, everyone supporting him too.
Onyx ain't going nowhere without Prince.
No, nowhere. I think if I can quote this from Wolf, he said
Animus
he's got the
aing pengen
Emperor.
asal
Yes, Wolf. He said
versus
that Super Prince
lihat
has the
baterai, anjir.
Emperor's eye. He sees everything that is happening across the map in real time.
All at once.
All at once.
Ye, kapal sorry.
Even though his phone is it's only so many inches long, it's crazy. It's crazy what they are able to get away with. But at the same time, can they finally overload his CPU of a brain? Because he's processing things way faster than everybody else.
He's on the cloud.
He's on the cloud.
I got the pleasure to actually even interview Brusco at M6 when, do you remember,
Yang
they were up
predik
against
bah.
Falcon Esports, and
Nyan paling,
Super
nyan
Friends
paling.
read out Kid X's position on Tigreal. He was
Yes.
so far back, he waited all the way there.
Yeah,
And people on the
Play
internet was
off.
like, that's pretty normal, man. It's not really that impressive. I asked Brusco, he was like, even I didn't know what he was doing.
Next
That's
satu
what led
berarti
to
tim
That's what led
Falcon.
to Kid X being the only one left.
Yeah.
In the purple bar, and the purple bomb. It's like,
Onyx
I guess there's
Onyx
nobody
ID.
here.
Yeah.
Onyx
Dude, like
ID,
even his
lawan
teammates are shocked that he can spot
Wow.
things out. Even now, like they've
Yep.
been playing with him for a year, and they're still impressed. They're like, dude, how?
And he reads other roles' positions better than
Yes.
the role player.
Polling,
We gotta see
predik
what his
clear
setup
aja.
is. I wonder if his minimap covers.
Tapi lah
his
mau ningali tim
entire
Falcon
full screen,
kok
he
tadi,
just changes the
kuduna tim
opacity
Falcon
just a
sih
little
He's
bit.
daripada
got
Onyx
map hacks,
ID.
man. Like simply put,
Keduanya.
the man's got like built-in map hacks wired in his brain.
He needs to be studied.
He does.
We
Soalnya
need to know
does.
what he drank as a kid,
Eh,
what
itu
milk, what kind of
kuat sih
atmosphere,
Onyx.
environment.
Cuman
This is how we produce the
buat
super
Lena masih belum
soldiers
sejago
of
cewek tadi.
professional
The
play.
super prince.
The super
super
princes
Indo Pride.
of this world. Oh goodness. Now as we move on, that does mean that Onyx Philippines will have to face off against TLID. But before we go to that, an elimination match, only one team may survive. Is it Onyx Esports or is it going to be Team Falcons? The decider here for both of these teams
Oh,
in the
Nick
lower
jeung
bracket
TLID jam
happening
jam
right
7
after
tuh.
this break. You're watching the Snapdragon Pro Series. We'll be back with more MLBB action in just a bit.
Jam 11 tadi.
Will be these teams in the lower
Jam
bracket
5.
MLBB.
Cuk deui anjing jam 5. Ayo Discord.
The Snapdragon Pro Series is brought to you by Snapdragon Elite Gaming and DHL.
The journey to greatness starts here. From the 11th to 13th of April, the race reaches its peak at the Tennis Indoor Senaya.
Dia di Discord. ML dia.
Tickets are live. Be part of the climb and secure your spot now.
Bacot
Be part
Padil.
of the
Bro,
journey.
tadi
Greatness,
ya.
rise to the top.
Onyx PH.
Onyx PH.
Onyx PH kerana mereka telah menang M6 pada minggu lepas.
I support Kirk because he is genius.
Onyx ID because saya dah fans lama diorang.
I support Onyx. Both Onyx.
They got Kyrie, right?
Fanboy. Suns.
because I'm a mid laner. So Sans tu kira macam power lah since I know him.
Onyx sebab dia orang juara dunia. So Onyx ID sebab saya main jungle saya suka Kairi dan Onyx King Kong dengan Kara.
Hope they did their best today and always take care of their health first. Okay. Good luck to all teams.
For both Onyx, I hope they meet in the final.
To Onyx PH and Onyx ID, good luck and I hope you guys could win this game lah for the Snapdragon. See you guys.
Fanboy.
Macam deui yang main. Ada baru diskusi dia tadi di Discord.
Halo abangku. Gede. Hah? Ayo. Salah. Halo. Suara orang bocor ke Restream tuh. Penting atas siji saha apa? Tak apa? Eta meureun ieu meureun nge-share link live-nya meureun anu join di TikTok di mana meureun?
Parah share. Ali warga syukur.
Discord update-nya ieu jadi beda.
Kemarin ngobrol project ya berarti para
Di mana main wae. Jadi jika ieu teh non for the war. Iya nang yang sih. Kawan jadi jika for the war
keluar ya suaranya.